All right, 1.4 is about exponential in radical form. You put today's date on there. It's going to be a very short one. We just have this little table to fill out. You're going to have two different things you need to do. The first one is going from exponential form to what's called a radical. And then the second part is having a radical and writing it as an exponent. So they can go from one form to the other, and you need to be able to switch them quickly. Okay, so what happens is when we have an exponent with a power that's a fraction, that is really known as a radical. So what I'm going to do here is put that this equals the denominator of the fraction, so that's the bottom number, becomes the index of the radical. X, base of X stays in there, and then the numerator becomes the power. So now what happens is we don't keep this 2. This is really just called a square root. You will never see a 2 there. We just need to automatically know that's the square root, and then x to the first we know is just x. So really x to the 1/2 power is the same as the square root of x. And we're going to keep going in this pattern. So now we've got x to the 1/3 power. This would become the index, or the little number in front of, this is the radical symbol, x to the first power, which I don't need that. First power just equal cube root of x. And you do need a 3. The only one that does not need that little number in front is the 2. So that's a square root. That's called a cube root. Okay, can you see what's going to happen here? This is a 4th root of x. And then the next unit we'll get more into actually evaluating some of these things. But right now you just need to know how to change it into a different form. All right, number 4, 5, and 6 are not quite as simple. We've got x to the 4/3 power. The rule stays the same, where the denominator of the fraction becomes the index of the radical. So this would be the cube root of x to the 4th power. So I picture it as x to the 4th power. They kind of stay together, and the 3 comes around and becomes the index. And even though that was an improper fraction where the top was bigger than the bottom, that's okay. Leave that just like that. All right, number 5. Look how funky this is. We have a 7 as a denominator. So this would be called the 7th root of x squared. And just leave it like that. Okay, go ahead and try number 6. You should get the 4th root of x to the 5th power. All right, now let's go the opposite way. You want to know what the power is on the base that's inside the radical. So this is just x. X to the first is what it really is. So you would write this as the base is x, the power on x is 1, and then the denominator is that index that's in front of the radical. So this would be x to the 1/4 power. All right, number 8. This is x to the 4th power, and it's under a cube root, so this would be a base is x. 4/3 would be your power. Number 9, it would be x to the 3/7 power. It's pretty simple. You can go ahead and pause and try the last 3 if you want. Number 10 would be x to the 1/5. Number 11 would be x to the 4/5. And number 12 would be x to the 2/3. Okay, and that's all of the notes on this one. You're just going to practice a lot on Delta Math.